Good evening, everybody. And yes, it's a Monday. We are back live. A bit of a change in terms of time. Started an hour late, but hey, it's good to be back. It's good to be live. Missed a couple of the last few days, but yeah, it's good to be back. And today we are going to discuss about Carrick and Amorim. There has been a debate going on online in terms of who's supposed to be given credit for what is happening now. Carrick has won 4 games in a row. He's back as the Manchester United caretaker head coach. He hasn't lost in the 2 spells he's been here so far. He hasn't lost. He won 4 games. Among those 4 games are big teams: Man City, Arsenal, Tottenham. And there has been a debate throughout the day. Who did the dirty work? Who should get some of the credit? Who should get all the credit? And today we are going to discuss about it. As usual, get involved in the comment section below. And let's discuss. Let's just have a discussion. Because we know Amorim left. It's a fact. He left, what now? 6 weeks ago, over a month ago. And Carrick has come on. He's won 4 games in a bounce. United's trend is about to shave because right now it's looking confident. Fans are feeling confident. The players are feeling confident, as well as the players. The players look confident. They are playing more confident football. Ooh, what's happening to my cable? The players are looking more confident. They are playing more confident, more fluid. They seem to enjoy their football. They are enjoying their football. And a question has been popping up since that win on Saturday. Does Amorim get some credit for what is going on, or is it all on Carrick? Yeah, some are saying that Amorim did the dirty work, did the groundwork. Others are saying no, Carrick has absolutely changed anything. I want us to discuss. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And it's about the credit debate. Does Carrick take all the credit? Does Amorim take some of the credit? Because it's a raging debate. It's a debate that it's good to have. So to me, first of all, let me say good win on Saturday. I didn't quite get to watch the live game, the Tottenham game, early kickoff. I was traveling. I was on the road. I couldn't really watch the game, but I watched the replay and some good stuff. Good set piece there. So Arsenal, I hope you watch that set piece. You don't need to push the keeper around. You don't need to create chaos in the box, push the keeper around, push defenders around to score. No, you can actually score a good set piece. And one thing I'm glad that United are doing a lot this season is taking advantage of set pieces. United are scoring corners. I remember under Eric Ten Hag, a corner was like a waste. United couldn't score corners, but now United are scoring set pieces. They are scoring free kicks. They are scoring throw-ins. They are scoring corners, and it's good to see. It's good to see Mbumo again on the score sheet. A lot of course, criticism from some fans that Mbumo was brought in to provide assists, GAs, and all that, but others are saying, well, we want him to dribble. But looking at how Mbumo is playing, the position he's playing, he's doing well. Signing Cunha, Mbumo, Sheshko was all about bringing goals to this team. We know that last season and the season before, United had issues scoring goals. Yes, Højlund was there, but he was not performing as well. He was not performing to the level that we expect a United striker to perform. But having options like Cunha, Mbumo, Bruno as well, right now he's performing well. He's scoring goals. He scored a good goal versus Tottenham. And Sheshko is an option. He's also scored a couple of goals in the last few weeks. So having those options, it's good. It's good. At least now United are assured that at least they'll get a goal a game. So there has been an upturn in form. Carrick has done well. Credit where it's due. Carrick has done very well. We had gotten to a point where it's like losing is okay, you know? It's like you expect United to lose games or you expect United not to win games. It has gotten to that point where I think the word suffer had gotten to us such that this feeling, we had started to forget how it feels to win matches. But the question is, one manager was brought on to change everything, to tear everything down, to set everything straight from the ground up. And another has been brought to steady the ship for a short time. So, with those 4 wins, with the team that's playing, how the team is playing, questions have been asked. Guys have been debating, especially on X. Should Carrick take all the credit, or does Amorim have a hand? Sorry, does Amorim have a hand? I think I got distracted by a comment. But does Amorim have a hand in what's actually going on? So we are going to look at both sides of the debate. And we know whether it's all on Carrick or Amorim has a part to play in it. So going back the Tottenham game, 4 wins in a row. I can't remember the last time United did that in the Premier League. United is the only, and I think it's not only, it's one of the teams that's unbeaten in 2026 in the Premier League, as well as Sané Lamens has only lost 2 matches. Sané Lamens has only lost 2 Premier League matches since signing for United, and that's a big change. That's a big change. Having a keeper like Sané Lamens has helped us a lot. It also gives confidence to the defenders that as they are playing, they are assured that at least we have someone at the back who can actually make saves. Yeah, Liverpool dropped points yesterday. An interesting game. I haven't watched such a game in the Premier League this season. Most of the games have been boring, but that game yesterday was good. And City won. Liverpool lost. So that solidifies United's top 4 race a bit. United need to keep winning. In the last stream, I said every game for United right now should be like a cup final. United should approach every game like a cup final. It shouldn't be as realistic saying that, or it's not realistic saying that. United may drop points, but of course, each game at a time. United have more rest. They have a good run of fixtures now, having played City, having played Arsenal, having played Liverpool. So we look at the fixtures that are coming up. The tough fixtures we can actually say are coming up are Liverpool, Chelsea, and probably Aston Villa. But the rest are winnable. And looking at how Carrick is setting up the team, how Carrick has actually given the players confidence, you feel it. You feel it. You feel the positivity. You feel the vibes, you feel confident. Like that Tottenham game, I was confident United are going to win. And that's what we've been missing for a very very long time. So the credit debate, Carrick versus Amorim. I'm already seeing some comments here, especially on TikTok. Let's see. Tana is saying one simp was brought over to bend over for Wilcox and Barada. Ooh, it's all Amorim. Interesting. Yeah. So that's the debate I want us to have today. So get involved in the comment section. So Amorim came in as a long-term manager. He came in to set the record straight. And one of the things that Amorim did was to clean the swamp. There are a lot of players that were at United who are underperforming. We know the bomb squad. Rashford was one of them. Sancho, I think, was the worst of the worst. Anthony, Højlund, Onana. Amorim did the dirty work of getting rid of those players, and now they are not at the club. We know that, for example, Rashford was good. He is good in terms of attacking. At United, he was good at attacking, but when it came to actually the pressing side of the game, the defensive side of the game, let me say the defensive side of the game, an example is pressing. He was not quite willing to do so. We saw him walk around a lot. We look at this team, especially this season, and more so under Carrick, we've seen the team press a lot. The team is more athletic. Injuries are well managed. So Amorim came in and first of all cleaned the swamp and also assisted in terms of building this team to become more athletic. The players look more disciplined. The players look more disciplined in terms of their positioning, in terms of their play. Unfortunately for United, what I've realized is whenever United get a head coach or a manager that tries to instill a certain way of playing, the players struggle. It started all the way from Moyes, it went to Louis van Gaal, all the way to Eric Ten Hag. And I made a video about it, and most guys didn't understand my point of view. If we look at how United have always been set up, they've always been set up as a free-flowing transitional team. And that's how United have been playing under Carrick. It's free-flowing. Everyone can take up anyone's position. They are playing quick passes, taking advantage of spaces in behind, capitalizing on it, creating chances, scoring. On top of that, one thing that has improved with United, not only under Carrick, but also under Amorim, is the set piece. You look at the Fulham game, you look at the Tottenham game, the first goals were set pieces. And that's a good thing to have in the bag. Now, back to the discussion about, or the point about United being set up as a transitional team. The unfortunate bit about it is that it's not really sustainable, because to get a manager who plays such kind of football nowadays, it's tricky. It's tricky to get a manager who will just tell players, this is how you're going to set up, this is what you're going to do, play your good stuff, have confidence, take advantage of opposition spaces, attack. And United are perfect in that. That's the United way of playing. But football has changed a lot. It's being played more on the ground. And the good thing is now with 4 games under Carrick, we can see that coming into effect. When I made that point was the 3rd game, Fulham game. Now, you look at Ferguson. When Ferguson left, Moyes struggled because he tried to bring in his way of playing, his philosophies. The players were used to more of transitional football, not really possessional. It became worse under Louis van Gaal because Louis van Gaal expected certain positioning from players. He expected certain passing patterns, certain patterns of play. It worked for some time. Yes, he won the FA Cup, but still, a lot of United fans, including myself, said the football was boring. We can all admit, some of us said the football was boring. Came in Mourinho. He had a pragmatic way of playing, but more defensive. What did we say as United fans? It's too defensive. Because United, we are used to seeing United play more of attacking football, more of transitional play, counter-attacking, fast-paced football, one-touch, two-touch football to get the ball quickly into attacking areas and actually score. Now, Ole came in, brought back the United way. We did see a lot of improvement, finishing 2nd, finishing 3rd, getting to a couple of finals. Unfortunately, Ole didn't win those finals, but the United way of playing football was back. But now Ole trying to take it to the next level, he did not get the support. The fans turned against him. The players also seemed to not support him anymore. And now came in Eric Ten Hag. He tried playing the Ajax way, patterns, passing lines, positional play, the ball should move. And what I noticed is under Eric Ten Hag as well as Amorim, who tried to play the same sort of football in terms of controlling the game, in terms of actually having possession, not only scoring on the transition, but when they score, they control the game. Or even if they haven't scored, they have more of the possession, they create chances. Even when a team is sitting in deep, they can create chances and score. One thing I've noticed with that is that most of the players are confused on what to do. You saw that players were passing the ball and then standing. It's like they are confused. Where am I supposed to go next? What am I supposed to do with the ball? You are supposed to be there. A couple of times under Amorim, under Eric Ten Hag, we saw players pointing to the position where a player is supposed to be there, their teammate's supposed to be. I haven't seen that under Carrick, to be honest. It's like players understand what position they need to take up, or they I'm being distracted by comments. Sorry, guys. So a couple of times you saw Bruno like pointing, you're supposed to be there, or Casemiro saying, hey, you are supposed to move. You saw players trying to tell each other, hey, you're supposed to be in a certain position for you to get the ball. But the football we are seeing right now, it's very fluid. There are times when Bumo is dropping deep, Cunha is also going forward and all that. It used to happen under Amorim, but it's, from my view, it's like under Amorim, it was premeditated. It was practiced before. Like, you're supposed to move here. But with Carrick, it's free flowing. It's like they're allowed to take up any position they want. So that's the key difference we've seen with a manager that tries to bring in a philosophy to play and a manager who says, yeah, you can take up this position, but at the same time, I really don't have set patterns. The other thing is Carrick can't really, in my view, Carrick can't really come and change a lot, because what he's brought on to do is to steady the ship. He's brought on to get United to the UCL, to win matches. So he will do whatever he can to win games. The last three, the first week, second week, I don't think he could do any much in terms of changing. And that's why you see him sticking to the same formation, because he doesn't have a lot of time to now start building a philosophy. To me, I believe Carrick, Steve Holland, they are looking at the next opponent and saying, this is what we need to do to win. They are not really thinking about next season. They're not thinking about the next 2 years. No, they're thinking about now. You look at Amorim, he was thinking about now and the future. Like, I need to get rid of these players who are not performing and start building for the next 2-3 seasons. Unfortunately, he did not get the result and he was sacked. And he wasn't really sacked because of the performance. He was sacked because of what he said against what he said about Wilcox. Yeah. So my worry is if United now see that Carrick's way of playing, Steve Holland's way of playing is the future of the club, or this is what is getting these players to perform, the next manager better be a manager that can actually play this sort of football. Because we've seen it under Eric Ten Hag, we've seen it under Amorim, we've seen it under Louis van Gaal, that trying to bring in a manager that plays a certain way, a certain philosophy, doesn't necessarily work well at United. It's like the players are not buying into the idea. You look at the interviews the players have done the last couple of weeks under Carrick, they are mentioning freedom, they are mentioning enjoying football, they are mentioning he understands United, they are mentioning all those things. They are trying to draw differences between Amorim and Carrick. It's like Carrick has allowed them to be more free, to express themselves with the ball, off the ball. We can see they have a bit of freedom. You look at a player like Kobe now, Kobe is a totally different player. He's playing wonderful football, especially versus Tottenham. He had his best games compared to the other three. You look at Bruno, we'll mention Bruno later. He looks a bit mature. One of the complaints I had so far this season is Bruno takes up other people's responsibility. But you look at how he's played the last few games, especially the last game versus Tottenham, he's allowing other people to get into the game and get into the positions where he's more effective. He's being more effective with the ball. So let me read some of the comments before we actually go. Carrick, the beneficiary, has he benefited a bit or not at all from Amorim? This is the comment that was distracting me. Sorry. Says who he is a failed manager. That is why he got the sack. Yeah. Amorim made mistakes, especially on the pitch. He did not quite perform well. The results are not coming, but off the pitch, he did some good work, like getting rid of some of those players we know that were not performing well. For example, Garnacho. Right now, we are seeing what Garnacho is all about. Yeah, fine, benefit of the doubt. It's a new season in a new club. Probably he will adapt. Probably next season he will be better. But every time Garnacho plays at Chelsea, we actually say we survived him. Rashford has gone to a much weaker league, quote unquote weaker league, in terms of how they play. There is more space and all that. But he hasn't really hit the GAs you'd expect, So the leaks have gone. Nowadays, the leaks are very minimal. You look at the players, They look fitter. How United are managing injuries is way better. So off the pitch, Amorim has actually done some good job. But on the pitch, his decision making was poor, especially in game, like substitutions. Most of the time were off. His team selection. A good example is the Tottenham final, the Europa League final versus Tottenham. His team selection was not good enough. He made poor decisions. You look at the Everton game, 1-0 down versus 10 men. Instead of risking it, bringing on another attacker like we saw Carrick do versus Arsenal, Amorim brought on defenders. So such kind of decisions were damning to him. And of course, big ego, big personality, saying he won't change. He changes to a back four versus Newcastle, beats Newcastle. The next two games, he changes back to a back three. United don't get results. So, yeah, all in all, I kept saying I supported Amorim. I keep saying I'll support whoever will be the United manager, but I did not support him blindly. I used to criticize him. I used to say he's making mistakes. At the same time, I criticize these players. This is the same team and Amorim. They also didn't perform quite well. They are professionals. If you see that things are not working, do something about it. The coach or the manager, when he's on the dugout or the box, the coach's box or manager's box, he can only shout instructions. But what actually are the players trying to do to win matches? For example, the Everton game, if you see that the coach's instructions are not working, try something out of the blue. You look at the Grimsby game. Do you really need a head coach to tell you to beat Grimsby? No, you don't. Of course, Amorim did make changes. United went back to 2-2, but still it's not good enough. So, Alex, I agree with you. He failed. Amorim failed. I was hoping he would succeed. And to be honest, we really suffered under Amorim. We really suffered under Amorim. But my hope was the work that he's doing behind the scenes will eventually come good. But it didn't. Because personally, I'm tired of hiring and seeing United hiring and sacking managers. You're saying XXJS, you're saying, come on, do not be ridiculous. Ten Hag and Ole are just as much responsible for the current team if any previous manager. That's true. That's very true. Player power actually came under Ole. Player power, we can say it really started under Ole. And eventually the same player power got him sacked. You look at Ten Hag, the signings he made or the signings he vetoed, not good enough. Not good enough. Eventually, it came out that Eric Ten Hag was proposing players from his agency, SEG agency. And that's one of the reasons why he got sacked at Leverkusen. You look at a player like Anthony, letting go of some good players and then signing a player like Anthony, letting go of David De Gea for Nana. Those are questionable moves, So, yeah, as well as good things. Both bad and good things. I agree. Both good and bad things. The bad things is Ole player power, Eric Ten Hag, of course, poor signings, most of which we are seeing them leave. You look at Ole, probably could he have handled the Sancho situation better? Could he have handled Sancho better? Probably. No player power. You look at Ole, yeah, he gave chances to young players. One of them is on Greenwood, although he did what he did. But under Ole, we saw some very beautiful football. In the end, fans didn't quite become patient with him, and he left. So double X, yeah, XXJ, yes, I agree with you. There are good things and bad things, and one of the things that we can say that has happened recently is at least the club is trying to show some direction. Like Wilcox and Berada will not sign players for head coaches. Now it's head coaches. They will try to sign players for the club. For example, not getting Emi Martinez and getting Lamens. That's a good move. That's a really good move. I don't understand why they still insist on the lap, although reports came out sometime last week, I think over the weekend, that they dodged a bullet with the lap. But getting Bumo and getting Sheshko, those are good signings. Dogu, most of us, if not all of us, we didn't know about Dogu until United were interested in him and signed him. He was playing for Lecce. Those are not the sort of players we see United going for. So they are trying. They are trying. Yes, they are making mistakes. They've made mistakes, huge mistakes, but at least there is a message that they sign players, then they get a coach who will work for them, which to me will work well if they can get a good profile of managers. It doesn't make sense. For example, Luis Enrique to me wouldn't work in this setup because Luis Enrique is a sort of person, is a sort of coach who wants to be a manager. He wants to control signings. He wants to control who plays, who doesn't play. I don't really think it will work out for him at United. Yeah. You're very bitter about Amorim. I wouldn't even employ Amorim in one of the burger stands outside the ground. Well, it's how you feel. It's how you feel. Amorim didn't fail at Sporting. He actually did the same thing, rebuild. I'm not justifying his failure or his success at United, if he had any success on the pitch anyway. But I kept saying, even when I was supporting him, when United were losing matches, I kept saying he makes it difficult to back him. He made it very difficult to back him. Many United fans supported him when he signed for United, but eventually he lost support. So let's see some of the comments here. El Gringo, you are saying, good evening, UKG. Hope you had a lovely weekend. Yes, I did. I hope you had a good weekend as well. El Gringo, you are saying, a blessed day. Hope your night is going on well. Yes, it's going on well. The day was good. The day was really, really good. Glad to be back. I had traveled over the weekend. That's why we didn't even have the watch along, but I'm glad to be back. That part you're saying, Garnacho, yeah, it's one of the examples of the guys that were gotten rid of. Alan, you're saying for Carrick, you're going for Carrick because he doesn't have to change things in the background just to set up the team. Yeah, right now Carrick can't really change a lot. He can't really change a lot because number one, he does not have the time, and number two, his focus is on the now. His focus is winning matches now to get United to the UCL. He may, or he will change some things. For example, he has changed the formation, he has changed the positioning of players, he's playing certain players. But interesting though is this. When Amorim was not playing certain players, quote unquote, Mainu, there was an issue. But right now we have some players who are not playing. For example, Eden Heaven is not playing much. Sheshko is not playing much. Yoro is not playing. And it's all gone quiet. And that just shows you when you're winning matches, such kind of debates fade. When you start winning matches, such kind of debates will fade. For example, if Kobe Mainu was on the bench and United won the 4 matches, I don't really think a lot of fans will have an issue Kobe not playing. Honestly, I don't think so. But when you start losing matches, you don't get matches, points in matches, that is, guys will start looking for faults. Guys will start looking for mistakes, even where they are not supposed to be mistakes. Right now, some players are not playing. Yoro is not playing. Heaven is not playing. They're not getting a lot of match time, if any. But the discussion is not there simply because United are winning. So winning matches solves a lot of problems. Right now, we have players who wanted to leave. They say they want to stay. For example, Harry Maguire is asking for an extension. You look at Zaxi, he's willing to stay on as a sub. So winning matches saves you from a lot of trouble. It saves you from a lot of external debates that are not supposed to happen. Yeah. So Carrick has done a lot in terms of on-pitch matters. In the background, he has also made changes. For example, now rest days are back. Players, they play, they go home and rest. They are coming later to Old Trafford for matches so that they can meet the fans. They have that feeling. So Carrick has made some changes, some administrative changes, some training changes. But now when it comes to actual philosophy, I don't think he has done a lot. I wouldn't expect him to do a lot. Right now, he just needs to focus on each game, keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. Right? He's not been brought on to fix culture issues or to fix squad issues. No, he's been brought on to get United to the Champions League. That's what he's been brought on. Amorim was brought on to fix everything. He was brought on to fix the culture, to fix the squad, to fix a lot of in terms of philosophy. So that's one of the key differences. Third party two, thanks for commenting. You're saying this player should not be seen anywhere around Old Trafford and Carrington. Which players? Which players? Garnacho, yeah. Garnacho, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be. Actually, he shouldn't even mention United. He mentioned United last week when Chelsea were playing Arsenal, and we know what happened. We know what happened. Sancho, Rashford, Onana, Rasmus, Garnacho, all these should not go anywhere near our club as opponents. Well, it will happen. It will happen. Whether we like it or not, it will happen. Like, I'm sure Garnacho will want to play United at Stamford Bridge. And you'll find that that's the game he will actually perform well because he wants to prove a point. Homespin, big up, big up. Thanks for that comment. You're saying good, bro. Good analysis, bro. Thanks for that comment. Shani, you're saying fact. Thanks. Alpha, the only player who can be allowed at Old Trafford is Scott McTominay. Yes and no. Yes and no. I'll push back a bit in terms of the Italian league is a bit slower. The Italian league has a bit more space than Premier League. Premier League is quite fast. It's very physical. Of course, the Italian league is physical, but it's not as fast as the Premier League. It's not as fast. McTominay has matured. He has matured. He's now all-rounded. He has developed his game. He's a much better midfielder. Would I want him back? Yes, but doubts. I have doubts. I have doubts because you look at Spanish La Liga, you look at the Italian league. Some of those leagues, Premier League players go there and actually look like superstars. You look at Anthony. Anthony was at United. He was struggling. Went to Betis. He was scoring bangers every week. So I will take McTominay back, but I would hope that if he comes back, he's actually ready for the Premier League. Because actually this season, if you look at this specific season, players are getting injuries a lot because the physicality is comparing Premier League this season and any other season. The physicality of the Premier League is way high. You look at Aston Villa, they have 7 injuries. Tottenham have 11 injuries. Players are getting injured a lot in the Premier League because of the physicality. In fact, United are very lucky not to have Casemiro breaking his ankle on Saturday. That Romero tackle, United are very lucky because can you imagine having who playing in midfield? Ugarte? So you look at the tackles being made in the Premier League, the physicality, you look at how players are getting tired, especially teams that are playing 3 games in a week. You need a big squad like City, Arsenal to be able to compete in all fronts because Premier League this season, it's way too physical. It's way too physical. Let's see. Shani, you are saying, what do you think if they can extend Casemiro's contract for 1 year? Yes, I would extend, but I keep saying for United to go the next level, for United now to actually be very competitive, we need to start transitioning to a much younger squad. Right now, the core of the United team is a bit younger. You look at Yoro, Heaven, Dogu, you look at Sheshko, Ahmad. Those are relatively young players, if not very young. You look at Kobe. So United need to start having that core of young players because one thing we've seen affect a lot of teams is when they depend a lot on their aging players, the transition becomes even harder. For example, United can give Casemiro and Bruno contract extensions. Even Luke Shaw, Maguire, they can't get contract extensions like 1 year, 2 years to give the team or Wilcox that buffer to look for the best players to replace them. One of the issues that United have had in recent years is that they never really replace players. You look at Carrick, Scholes, they've never been really replaced. The closest United have come to replace Scholes and Carrick is when we had Pogba, Matic, and Herrera. That's the closest United have come to replacing the midfield players. At least even Fred, McTominay, they tried a bit. But you look at those profiles, United haven't really replaced them. You look at United, for like 7 years, United didn't have a proper right winger. Especially after Antonio Valencia left, of which he was playing as a right back as well. United haven't really replaced. They tried a bit with Mason Greenwood, but we know what happened. He left. So you look at those issues, United don't really have a plan when it comes to replacing players. You look at forwards, Martial, at least Martial was brought on to be a number 9 to replace the likes of Van Persie. But United did what next? They went for Ibrahimovic, they went for Cavani, not only for sporting reasons, but also for commercial reasons. They will sell shirts, they will sell tickets. But after that, who was next? Højlund. Was Højlund a good replacement for those forwards? I don't think so. Lukaku, yes, a bit. It didn't work out. You look at Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has been here since when? And still, United haven't found a proper left back replacement. You look at right back as well. Dalot is doing well in a back four. But you look at the future. Do United have a plan to replace these players? So, yes, we can give them, or United, let me not say we. There's someone who asked, I'm saying we as who. United can give them 1 year extensions, but with the view that they are looking for replacements for these players. For example, Casemiro, we need a proper replacement. Today, reports are coming out that Elliot Anderson is pushing for a move or prefers a move to Man City. So who will be next? Yeah. Let me read a couple of comments, then we go on with the discussion. Let me see. Dak, you are saying, I was waiting for you yesterday. Why didn't you come for the live yesterday? I wasn't around. I had traveled over the weekend, came back late last night, not last night, late afternoon. So I didn't even watch the game live. I actually watched the replay. So I wasn't around over the weekend. Scott is better than Ugarte. He can come on as a sub. Alpha, in terms of on the ball, yes, but those are two different profiles. Scott McTominay is not a CDM. Ugarte is a CDM. Scott McTominay is not. Scott McTominay is a good box-to-box midfielder. United misprofiled him, playing him deeper. McTominay performs well high up the pitch, and whenever Erik ten Hag played him high up the pitch, he scored goals. You remember him playing versus Brentford and actually won United the game. So those are two different profiles. Ugarte performs well as a 6, but now Ugarte requires a defense that pushes higher. Ugarte is not a player to come deep, collect the ball, turn, pass. Ugarte is not like Casemiro or Kobe who can come deep, drop deep, get the ball, turn and pass. No, Ugarte is more of a destroyer, and he plays better when the back four is pushing higher. He can be able to cover those spaces in between. He can be able to run back and tackle. He's good at destroying play. Scott McTominay he's a box-to-box, but he plays better higher up the pitch. So those are two different profiles. Alpha. Those are two different profiles. Dak, hope you won't say we won because of the red card. Just continue being who you are. You're looking for negativity, you won't find it. You're looking to stir up trouble, you won't find it. And I keep telling you, in the wrong platform. Furthermore, you can't control what I say. I'll just give my opinion regardless of what you think. Yeah. So, and I told you I won't block you. And last time I told you are a fool because you expect to taunt someone and react, but that's the match you're going to get from me. I told you, just continue commenting. It's a free world. You can do whatever you want. Isaac Mshanti, hey, finally you are here. Yeah, I'm back. I traveled on Thursday. I'm back now. I never saw Casey. Also, you guys made us miss a lot. Yeah, I did mention on Wednesday that I'm not available till today. So in case you missed that, sorry. Isaac Shanti is saying, what's the worst thing that can happen to our teams in terms of clicks in the team? I'm not sure whether I understand that question. What's the worst thing that can happen to our team in terms of clicks? Or you mean factions, groupings? Oh, injury. Sorry. What's the worst thing that can happen to our team in terms of injury? Yeah. United right now are treading on thin ice in some positions. A good example is left back. Yes, we do have Dalot who can play there, but he performs well on the right. Dalot could play left back. Mazraoui comes on right back. But Mazraoui this season, I don't know what has happened to him. He doesn't quite look fit, in my opinion. Doesn't quite look fit. You look at midfield, if Casemiro gets an injury, that's also a very, very tricky situation. In attacking areas, United are pretty much covered. We have profiles that can play there. But my two biggest worries is left back, right back, and CDM. Because Casemiro is having a very good season. Especially after Amorim has left. Casemiro, Kobe, that combination is good. So my worry will be left back first. No, CDM first, left back, right back. Because now it's a situation where we start negotiating who plays where. So if Casemiro gets injured, we start now thinking, Ugarte, can he really perform as well as Casemiro? Bruno getting injured will also be a big miss. Bruno is playing quite maturely. What I expected from him, I complained about him a lot. I was critical of him, but he has matured. He has matured a lot. Now, before I continue on with the comments, the question is Carrick the beneficiary of Amorim's work? And a lot of guys are saying that yes. Not a lot. Some are saying yes. A lot are saying no. I looked at it from a logical point of view. I said, let me put emotions aside and actually analyze by myself. Look at this situation by myself. And actually, I said, there's a huge probability that Carrick is benefiting off of Amorim's work. I mentioned this season we've seen improved athleticism from the team and Amorim. We've also seen the set piece setup has improved a lot, as well as having players play certain roles, having players more disciplined in their position is actually helping Carrick in some way. I said I'll mention about Bruno. Bruno is one of the players that I believe has benefited from Amorim's instructions or Amorim's coaching. Bruno, you look at Bruno the last 4 games under Carrick. Bruno has been more disciplined. His positional play is better. He's taking less risks. And he's allowing other players to play with the ball. One of the biggest complaints I had a few months ago is Bruno wants to do everything. He wants to come deep, get the ball. He wants to create chances. He wants to go the left, get the ball. He wants to switch play. He wants to have a lot of the ball, and that did not allow players like Cunha, Mbumo, Casemiro to express themselves. So Bruno has been playing more disciplined. You look at the Tottenham game, he was just keeping it simple. And a few weeks ago when I mentioned that, I said my preference would be to see Bruno moving higher up the pitch, closer to the box. That's where he's more effective. That's where Bruno is more effective. And one thing we have to admit is Bruno has actually racked up his GAs and Amorim this season from playing deep. He's created chances from playing deep. And that sort of position he played has helped him to be an all rounder. You look at Bruno when he's dropping deep, he's being more efficient with the ball. And I believe Carrick's instructions are Bruno, keep it simple. Don't overwork yourself. We need you fresh for the entire game. And that's what good coaches do. Good coaches tell players like Bruno, like you look at even Cunha, Mbumo, they are being more effective, more efficient with the ball. Some players still give me headaches, even right now. Like Martinez is still giving me a headache because he holds on to the ball too much. There are times when he has the ball, we have forwards making runs. Instead of giving that pass, he's still delaying with the ball. We look at now players like Casemiro, Ahmad, Bruno. You look at also Dogu when he was playing. They are being more efficient with the ball. Like, give me the pass, I give back to you. United right now are playing one touch, two touch football. The ball is moving faster. What I didn't like under Amorim is the play was too static, too slow. The player gets the ball, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, then passes. By the time they do that, the opponents have already set up. The passing lanes are blocked. You can't really move the ball. But you look at Carrick, the ball is moving faster. The ball is moving faster. So one of the benefits that Carrick has is he doesn't have to deal with the toxicity in the team. The bomb squad has left. The players who are there who are used to working hard on the ball, off the ball, the athleticism is much better. The fitness is much better, so they can run harder. Amorim started the issue about pressing, not the issue the tactic about pressing, the philosophy about pressing. It didn't quite work well under him, but now with Carrick, it has improved. Now it's some sort of an oxymoron that Amorim set it up, but he didn't benefit from it. So that's now where the debate comes on when it comes to Carrick. So guys are like, as much as you guys are saying that Amorim did some of the work or a lot of the groundwork, why did he not benefit from it? And it's a good and tough question to ask. It's a good and tough question to answer. To me, what I've just said, you look at the Amorim and also Ten Hag, it's like this United team, however much the changes have been done, whenever you ask this United team to play a certain way, especially positional football, it's like they are thinking too much. These players think too much. They don't actually act upon it. Yes, the coach can ask them, I need you to be in this position so that you get the ball, but keep moving. You look at the United team under Amorim, a player used to get the ball, all other players are static. No one is making the run. Right now, you look at how Carrick has set up, how the team is playing. Everyone wants the ball. Everyone wants the ball. We've seen those triangles a couple of times, especially versus City, Fulham, and now the Tottenham game. We've seen those triangles forming, and it's one touch, two touch football. The ball is moving quite quicker. And Amorim, the ball was too slow. The football was too static. They lacked ideas. And I kept saying it. United get to the final third, it's like they don't know what to do with the ball. They start passing sideways, backwards, across. Then it goes just like that. But right now, you look at how United are playing under Carrick. The ball, they are creating a lot of chances. Set pieces are also working. Versus Fulham, first goal set piece. Versus Tottenham, first goal set piece. And it's working. It's working. So, as I said, Amorim does have, in my opinion, Amorim does have a bit of a hand in what is happening now. In terms of injury management, athleticism, the players understand their positions. And now Carrick, it's like he has come and enhanced that a bit, especially the positional play. You look under Amorim, Ahmad and Mbumo used to swap places. Now it's happening even more. You look at Ahmad, you look at Mbumo, you look at Cunha, you look at Bruno. They keep switching places. There's a time Cunha is playing forward, Mbumo is dropping as a left winger. There's a time Ahmad, like the goal he scored, the offside goal, he was the forward, the other players are back. Bruno, when he scored the goal, he was playing as a winger, the other players were back. So that started under Amorim, like players switching positions. There are a couple of times we saw Luke Shaw play forward, Dogu dropping deep, and all that. We also saw Delict moving into the midfield to provide that cover as a CDM. It's still happening. You look at also Martinez, he's doing that. He's dropping into midfield to become that midfield cover, especially when Casemiro is pushing forward. And or when Mainu is roaming around and looking for the ball or defending, we've seen either Maguire step into midfield, but most of the time we see Martinez stepping into midfield. So some of that we saw it under Amorim, but it was not effective. It was not effective. The major difference I've noticed between Carrick ball and Amorim ball is that Carrick ball is more fluid. Amorim ball is like players didn't really want to take risks in terms of playing that fluid football, being in certain positions. Sometimes not even sometimes, most of the time when coaches insist on a certain way of playing, the player's mind it's like it's clogged. It's like they are scared of making mistakes, so they really stick to what they've been told. They can't take those risks. You're saying please don't be silly. So if Carrick starts losing games, he can just blame Amorim? No, I haven't said that. At what point have I said that? No. No, I haven't said that at all. You really hate Amorim. Carrick and Manchester United family are lying in a bed of roses, but roses still have thorns. Will our golden interim have enough time to prove his worth when times get tough? And that's the question. And I think that's what XX is asking. One thing that I don't like seeing online are these comparisons when it comes to Amorim outers and Amorim inners. Because right now, everyone who disliked Amorim or wanted Amorim out is poking guys who supported Amorim. So I actually asked myself, now, if Carrick loses matches, God forbid, if Carrick loses matches, can Amorim outers now come and say, you see, we told you, honeymoon stage, all that? Because right now, Amorim outers are really poking Amorim inners. Oh, you see, Amorim was the problem, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it was a major problem on the pitch. United were not winning. Now, if Carrick goes on and let's say doesn't win the next 5 matches, is it fair that Amorim inners can come and start poking Amorim outers the same way? Like, yeah, Amorim was also suffering the same. So, Paul, that's a very, very good question. How will it be handled when Carrick does not perform well? Because right now the euphoria is high, the hype is high, United are winning. But now the question is, assume Carrick does well, next season he's the permanent head coach, it all starts going tits up. What will happen? Do the Amorim outers who are poking the Amorim inners, do they expect fairness or not? That's a question. And one thing I like is I've seen a couple of big accounts that really wanted Amorim out admitting and saying, yeah, there are some benefits from Amorim. Like I've mentioned, physicality, athleticism has improved. United don't have many injuries. You remember under Eric Ten Hag, 36 injuries. Was it 36 or 63? I think something like that. A lot of injuries. United this season have not had many injuries. Have not had very, very many injuries. So, yeah. Let's see some of the comments. Let's see. George, you're asking, will Hoyland be back? I don't think he'll come back. United have already told Napoli they need to execute the permanent clause. So I don't think Hoyland is coming back. And United also want to cash in. So if United sell Hoyland, sell Rashford, Onana, who else? I think those three. There are some other players I can't remember who are out on loan. But that's 100 million plus. That's 100 million. That 100 million can be used to invest in the squad. So I don't see Hoyland coming back, George. There are also reports stating that United don't want him back. They are already asking Napoli to start preparing the checkbook. El Gringo, you're asking if there is somewhere we messed it, is selling Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka would have been a good squad option, to be honest, but not a starter. Because remember, one of the issues Wan-Bissaka had at United is his passing was not quite good. His defending was good, but now going forward in attack, he was not quite good. So he would have been a good squad option. Furthermore, I do believe young players can develop. Like right now, Wan-Bissaka is playing much better. Defensively, he was good, but now moving forward, in terms of going forward to attack, he was not quite good. It's more or less the issues we recently saw with Dogu. Dogu, in terms of defense, was very good, but when it came to attack, his crosses were off, his passes were off, but he has improved. So Wan-Bissaka as a squad option, why not? Mugithi Governor, you're saying Ahmad is losing form slowly. I guess the coach should give Lacey some minutes for competition. Yeah, minutes are good for Lacey, but Ahmad is also quite efficient. He's also good. It's when you have an ace. When you have an ace, you just keep playing it. It's like the way we've seen Carrick have an ace in terms of Sheshko. When you have it, play it. You know. And you look at that right wing, Ahmad is playing quite well. Of course, it's a change of formation. It's a change of tactic. He needs time to adapt. So let's be patient. Let's not be quick to write off Ahmad. And of course, as you've said, dipping form. But to me, I think Ahmad is still okay. Shalesi, yeah, I want to see some of those young players get minutes. But the question is, right now, when you need to win matches, do you really start the young ones, or do you start the players you can really trust, the experienced players like Mbumo, Cunha, Ahmad? If United are winning, let's say tomorrow versus West Ham, if United are winning like 4-0, then you can have Shalesi on, or 3-0, you can have Shalesi on. But when you're 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1, it's a risk. It's a risk, especially at a time where Chelsea are close and United need to win matches. Paul, I didn't read this. Sorry, Paul. Good evening, Simoninski and the great UKG family. Big up, Paul. You're saying, yes, Amorim was building something very slowly. You are less mediocre. Carrick has just listened to the logic of the fans. The fans were right. That's true. One manager was brought on, or one coach was brought on for the long term. One was brought on for the long term. The other one has been brought on to steady the ship, win matches. So those are two different jobs. So Amorim, on top of winning matches, he was also asked to reset the culture, to set up a philosophy, to do the groundwork, do the dirty work. The way I take it, it's like you give someone a piece of land that has shrubs, has tree stumps, has all that, and you tell them, I want to be harvesting wheat or corn or maize from this field. So they actually have to do the dirty work of getting rid of tree stumps, getting rid of the shrubs, tilling the land, preparing it, doing the soil testing, just to make it ready to plant maize. And then now, let's say midway through that process, you actually start becoming impatient with him. You tell him, hey, we need to start planting because the rainy season is here in the next month or so. So you get rid of him, you get the next person. When the next person comes, he finds that the tree stumps are not there, the shrubs are not there, the land has been tilled. It's not quite ready yet, but a few fixes here and there, they plant, and the plant starts growing. The seed starts growing, that is. So that's how I take it. That's how I take it. Because if we look at Amorim on the pitch, he was not performing. The results were not there. But off the pitch, he did a lot of work. He did a lot of groundwork. Yeah. Let's see some of the comments. Then we end the show. Isaac Mshanti, you're saying the big difference I can say between Carrick and Amorim is the consistency of our starting 11. That's true. That's very, very true. And it's quite unfortunate that Amorim had to deal with AFCON. It's quite unfortunate Amorim had to deal with that. And also Fletcher. Also Fletcher suffered the same. Remember? When Fletcher played those two matches, when he managed those two matches, the players were still out on AFCON. So, yeah, but the big difference is the consistency. I like what Kimi said. Kimi said, if it's not not an issue, or basically if the formation is working, if the 11 are working, why change it? Basically, if it's not broken, why fix it? For me, I would say at least try to get two players, change at least two players. For example, instead of starting Bumo, you start Sheshko. Because now what's happening is, and I mentioned it last time, the opponents, let's say Tottenham, Fulham, Arsenal, Man City, they really don't have scouting data of how Carrick sets up with United. They have to go back to when he was managing United at interim level back then, and they have to now go back to his Middlesbrough days. Because what opponents do, they scout opponents. Most of them take like the last 10 matches or last 6 matches. They look at how they played in the first leg versus that team. They look at the last, let's say, 5 or 6 matches. They look at the patterns. They look at the data. They look at who was more efficient. They look at where they had loopholes, where they had weaknesses in their own setup. And then by the time they are meeting each other, the scouting data is there. The scouting data is sufficient. Sorry. You look at Carrick, he's come on. Pep even admitted to it. He said, I really didn't know how to set up. I really didn't know what to expect from this United team. Similar to Arteta, he really didn't know what to expect from the United team. And Steve Holland has been a major addition to that team. And I apologize. I criticized him. I said he was not good enough for United. But guys, I hold my hands up and I apologize for saying that. Steve Holland is doing a very, very good job. He's doing a good job. So you look at Arsenal. Basically, United just realized, we just need to keep the ball on the ground versus Arsenal. We just need to actually play on feet. And Arsenal have struggled playing against teams with intensity and the ball is on the ground. You look at Fulham, Marco Silva is very good at reading in-game. It's similar to Rossini at Chelsea. Rossini at Chelsea will let you have the first half. Then in the second half, he's now going to counter everything you did, and he's actually going to come back in that game. Similar to what he did to West Ham, he also did it to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. He will read your game first half, second half, he will change it. You look at Marco Silva, he did the same. Fulham, of course, before the first goal, Fulham were really difficult to break down. And then now when they conceded that goal, they started coming out. But in the second half, they completely changed their game plan because now they had data. They had in-game scouting data to say, these are the patterns, this is how Carrick are set up, this is the channels, these are the channels that Carrick are using. So what do we do? So as the games are progressing, the opponents will get more and more data on how Carrick and Steve Holland has set up United, and they will have a way to counter those tactics. I don't expect United to win the remaining 13 matches, no. But I expect adaptation of tactics by opponents because they will look now at the City game, they will look at the Arsenal game, Fulham game, Tottenham game, possibly the West Ham game. So by the time they are meeting United, they now understand, oh, this is why he plays Mbumo. This is why he plays Cunha. This is why he plays Kobe. This is how Kobe is playing. This is how Bruno is playing. So they start now countering those tactics because now they have enough data. So my expectation is at some point, Carrick should also now start changing personnel and also look at the opponent and see, this is how I can set up. So in some games, for example, the Fulham game, there was a point Carrick played a 4-4-2, especially in the second half. You look at the Tottenham game, after the Romero red card, he changed the formation. He had now 3 forwards. So it ended up being a 4-3-3. At some point, I saw it was a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. So that's in-game, that's good in-game management. So he needs to continue adapting because as the games go by, opponents will understand his way of playing, his setup better and better, and it will become more difficult if he continues having the same lineup and the same setup. He can have the same lineup, yes, but he needs now to start adapting a bit. Yeah, basically keep the opponents guessing, which is difficult to do. The clubs hire match scouts, guys who actually sit down, watch match footage, watch live matches, and analyze that game in preparation for the next one. They have hired guys who actually sit in the stadium with tablets, with notes, looking at the game. That's why you see constantly a coach goes to the manager and whispers, like, you need to do this, because they are doing this. Yeah. Molo, you're asking, are we bringing in Tonali? I don't believe that story. I don't believe the Tonali story. I saw it. I chose to ignore it, to be honest, because the agent offered Tonali to Arsenal. And then when the reports came out that United are interested in Tonali, hours later, reports came out that Tonali prefers a move to Italy. Also, other reports came out that Tonali is looking to move away from Newcastle. So to me, it's an agent who's trying to rack up interest. He's trying to bring up interest in his player. And we know whenever you mention United and a player, other clubs will become interested. For example, Semenyo. Last summer, when United were mentioned with Semenyo was mentioned as of interest, what happened? Other clubs started coming in. In November, reports started coming in that United were going back for Semenyo. All of a sudden, Chelsea want him, Man City want him, and all that. So to me, that Tonali story, I'm not taking it as serious until I actually see the first bid. That's when I'll take it serious. But for now, I just take it as a way that his agent is trying just to drum up interest for his client. Because a lot of players right now want to leave Newcastle. It's not going well at Newcastle. It's not going well. It's not going well for Newcastle, and some of those players want to leave. We've also seen Gordon. He wants to leave. So to me, I don't think United will go for him. If they do, well and fine. But for me, I'll believe that story when I actually see the first bid or see someone like Ornstein or Fabrizio actually become more interested in that story. But for now, those are conflicting reports, especially after the Arsenal story. I think the player is just wanting to leave Newcastle. Just wanting to leave Newcastle. Isaac, you're saying Kobe is a proper footballer. Manchester United needs ballers in the team. Yes, Kobe has improved. The other thing that, guys, you need to understand about the current performance. World Cup squads are about to be named or mentioned. The provisional squads for World Cup are about to come out. So players will perform well because they want to go to the World Cup. So even players who are flopping, players who are out of form, will work harder, will play better. They will put in a shift because they know World Cup is coming up and I need to show my national team manager that I can get a chance, that I deserve to be in the World Cup. So right now, players getting that chance, trust me, they will play their hearts out because they want to be in that World Cup squad. So that's also one of the contributing factors as to why we are seeing United perform much better. Molo, you are saying get Tonali with the cash in. Yeah, but the question is he a proper replacement for Casemiro? Would Tonali be a proper? I will need to go and do research. I'll do research, then we can discuss it live tomorrow. But me, I've said for me those are just rumors. Mugidi, you are saying I guess some of the games Heaven can play good than Maguire because he's good at ball carrying. Yeah, but Maguire is not there for ball carrying. The way Carrick is playing Maguire, he's playing him as a destroyer. He's also good in set pieces on both boxes. So I think Heaven would be, as United signed him, Heaven will be a good replacement for Martinez. I think Euro will be a good replacement for Maguire. But I think Heaven is a Martinez replacement. Because you look at the way Martinez is playing right now, and even under Amorim, he was the ball carrier in that defense. You look at De Ligt. De Ligt was playing well with Euro because those are also two different profiles. So one defender sticks, the other defender can go in into midfield or carry the ball. So for me, I believe Euro will be a good replacement for Maguire, then Heaven for Martinez. But Peterson, you are saying you are on one side forgetting Manchester United also as scouting opponents. Yeah, that's what I said. I said right now United have an advantage, or United have had an advantage because the opponents, the managers have been there for some time. But now when it comes to opponents scouting United, it's a disadvantage because they haven't had a lot of scouting data of how Carrick plays. That was my point. Bro, not a United fan, but I think Baleba will replace Casemiro. Duncan, big up, Duncan. Well, Baleba, the stocks have gone down. I'm also doubting him, but I will still have him as a squad option. But signing Baleba would be a huge risk at 100 million. You'd rather take that 100 million and push for Anderson or Wharton, honestly. Right now, Tanaka, the Fulham player, Tanaka is playing much better than Baleba. Baleba had a good AFCON, but at EPL, I think after those links with United, something has happened. He's not himself anymore. Also, probably the change in coach has affected him. Probably. But right now, the stocks are low. The stocks are really low. Right now, Baleba is not, I don't think he's even worth 50M. I don't think he's worth 50M. Washington, you are saying we'll hardly never hear Carrick talk of context like Amorim did, so that tells that Amorim pumped a lot of philosophies that players wouldn't understand, but players are now responding to simple instruction. Interesting point. As I said, we've seen players under Louis van Gaal, under Eric Ten Hag, under Amorim struggle to adapt to tactics, to adapt to philosophy. When a manager comes in and says, "This is how I want us to play ball," we've seen these players time and time again struggle. As I said, under Amorim, it's like players who are scared of making mistakes. Under Eric Ten Hag, it was the same. Under Louis van Gaal, it's like they've been drilled that this ball has to come from this position, it has to go to this position. So if anything happens different from that, it's like the players are confused. Even look at how the attack was under Amorim. Players get into attacking areas. When they don't get the ball how they expect it to be, it's like, what do we do next? So they start passing backwards, sideways. But now with Carrick, it's free flowing. It's like you have space, get into space, get the ball, move into space, give me the ball, move into space, I give you back the ball. That's why you see those triangles forming. Like Cunha and Bruno have had good interplay. Ahmad and Bumo have had good interplay because it's like I'm not really being asked to be in a certain position. Because I mentioned earlier, and Amorim, you could see players pointing at a player like, you should be in that position. What are you doing here? You should move up. We've seen Casemiro do it a couple of times, Bruno. It's like they have the ball and then they're asking the player, what are you doing here? You should be there. Because that's how they've been coached. It's like this ball has a certain pattern it has to follow. And Louis van Gaal, the same. And Eric Ten Hag, the same. Eric Ten Hag had to change it. Eric Ten Hag had to abandon his philosophy and actually just tell the players, you play. You play. But as I mentioned, how sustainable is it? How sustainable is it? Because you look at, I mentioned, Fergie used to play that way. Moyes came in, struggled. LVG struggled. Basically, every manager between Fergie and Ole struggled with a different philosophy from what United play. Ole came in, tried to play the Fergie way, it worked. Ole left. Eric Ten Hag tried, didn't succeed. He went back to part of Ole's way or Ferguson's way in terms of counter-attack, transitional. It worked a bit, won 2 trophies, well and fine. When he now tried to actually bring back his philosophy, he failed, got sacked. You remember, what was his name? Ralf Rangnick. Ralf Rangnick also he's like, this is how I want us to play. This is how the ball should move. This is where you should stand. When the ball goes here, you should be here. So they try to give those sort of patterns. The same way Pep and Arteta are coaching their teams, even on a slot. And a slot is also struggling a bit because Klopp had a certain way of setting up. Like, if the ball comes here, I expect Salah to be in a certain position, so it pass to him. So it's different. Amorim came in and was very strict on his way of playing. So players now have to readjust. Like, the ball has to move this way. The ball, you need to be in this position by the time the ball is getting here. I need to see that pattern. That's why you saw Amorim getting agitated. Like, what are you guys doing? I remember one of the videos I watched online, he was asking, what is Heaven doing? Because Heaven had the ball. I think he had Dogu, or was it Shaw on the left? He decided to kick it forward. Actually, there's a couple of times he asked Lamens, why? Why are you kicking it? But now with Carrick, it's like, you guys, this is how we are setting up. You look for space. Pass into space, get into space. And the ball is flowing, you know? So, as I said, for me, it's all about sustainability. And if United want to continue playing this way, the names I'm seeing for next manager, like you see now in that ticker, Thomas Tuchel and Ancelotti. Ancelotti can play that way. We saw it under Real Madrid. We saw it with Real Madrid, that is. So if United want to continue playing this sort of football, they better look for managers or head coaches that actually play this brand of football, but they can't go for another possession-based coach. They can't. Otherwise, we are back to Amorim, we are back to Eric Ten Hag. We can't. We can't afford to see such kind of an appointment again. you know. A concern though, is there a max text length one can type? I had to type one, but they stuck into mud. Yeah, YouTube has a 150 character length. Washington. YouTube has a 150 character length. The players' brains must have been fried by Amorim. yeah, they were. They were. How many times even the watch alongs guys did I say it's like these players don't have an idea of what they need to do with that ball? Many times you find a player makes a run, the player still has the ball. It's like, I'm not seeing your run, but I want that ball to go where I was told the ball should go. Yeah. So a couple of comments before we end the live. Duncan, you're saying Baleba is an all-rounder plus playing style is transitional. Ebu ona akipartner na Mainu. That's very risky. Baleba and Mainu in midfield, that's very risky. That's very, very risky, Duncan. That's very, very risky. United right now need a solid CDM. Baleba is not. Actually, I would say Baleba and Kobe almost play similar. Almost. Kobe is far much better of a ball handler than Baleba, but I would say if you can, let's say, have Baleba and Anderson or Kobe and Anderson, such kind of a player, I think that midfield will be too open. Think that midfield will be open. Mad Bank, you are saying, are you joking? About what? Baleba and Kobe? I don't think Baleba will be a good CDM, to be honest. I don't think he will be a good CDM. I don't think he will be a good CDM playing with Kobe. Because we will have a similar problem with what we had under Amorim with Casemiro and Bruno. I would prefer not to have Kobe defending more, but to be more of a box-to-box, more free, like we are seeing right now. And Baleba has a tendency of taking the ball and running with it forward. So that means you're leaving a huge gap in the center of the park, similar to what we saw under Amorim with Casemiro and Bruno. Because you look at the Fulham game, the 1-1, Bruno was not in a good defensive place. So to me, Baleba, yeah, he's good in tackling, he's good in doing all that, but I wouldn't trust him with Kobe. I'm not saying Kobe is bad. No, I'm just saying that combination, you will need to come up with a way of covering that space because Baleba has that tendency to take the ball and run with it forward. He's not like Elliot Anderson or Wharton who will stick, engineer play from deep. No. And Kobe, we've seen Kobe plays better when you give him less defensive responsibilities. When you allow him to actually play more with the ball, Kobe plays better. He did some good tackling versus Tottenham, but Casemiro does most of the cleanup. So to have Kobe in playing in midfield, you will need a destroyer. To actually see Kobe's full potential, you will need a destroyer. You will need someone who would actually come in and say, you go do your stuff, I'll stick here and I'll destroy. But Wharton is just overhyped. Yeah, we've seen that a lot when it comes to English players, but that's a sensitive topic to mention. Yeah. For example, to me, Elliot Anderson and Wharton, 80 million, I don't think so. I think they're around 70 marks, 60, 70 marks, but 100 million. No. Meditations are saying, if you're doubting Carrick, I don't know what to tell you. No, I'm not doubting him. I haven't said anyway I'm doubting him. I think you are confusing the fact that I've said now teams will start getting more scouting data on how Steve Holland and Carrick are setting up, and they need to keep adapting. They can't keep playing the same way. The good thing we've seen is the 2 games versus Man City, Arsenal, and the last 2 games, Fulham, Tottenham. He has changed a bit of the tactics. As I mentioned, when Romero got that red card, he changed the formation. Most of the time, it was a back three and a front three. So it was like a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. And that's the sort of adaptability I'm saying. Because as United continue playing games, the opponents will continue getting more scouting data on how Carrick's set up, how his philosophy is, what the patterns of play and all that, including the set pieces. For example, Tottenham did not expect that sort of set piece. Now, when United try it the 4th time, 5th time, 6th time, the 6th time that is, teams will now be like, yeah, we've already seen this happen. So expect that short pass, cut back, go. So it's the same sort of thing I'm saying. Like right now, teams know Arsenal will try to push the goalkeeper away. So what are they trying to do? They are trying now to push the likes of Gabriel away from the keeper. Because they've scouted, they've seen this is how Arsenal are setting up. So they are trying to counter that. You look at how Rosinha set up Chelsea. When Arsenal were taking corners, Chelsea were pushing 3 men forward or 4 men forward. So that prompted Arsenal to push men back for counter control. Just go and check that game. Go and check all the corners in that game. So Rosinha was like, so you're bringing all men forward to try and create chaos. So what I'll do, I'll just push 3 men forward. In case there is a header, it's a counter. So Arteta had to ask the players to come back. So that means less bodies in the box can easily defend a corner. Yeah. Isaac, you're saying, personally, I think in the summer, we need to get rid of injury-prone players. That's true. For example, Mason Mount, I think it's time to let him go. We can reinvest that money in another midfielder. What about Toby? Toby Collier, yeah, he's had a bit of a rough season with injuries, loan moves not working out, of course, because of injuries. But my expectation was he would actually be at United this season. I think the club let him go out on loan because they thought they would get in another midfielder, but it didn't happen. So sending him back out on loan, to me, is also not a good move. But if we look at it, with like 15 games to go when he went out on loan, would you still really keep him on the bench? Because if Yoro, Evan, Zaxi are not getting game time, is it worth keeping him on the bench? It's like Kone. Sekou Kone going out on loan, it's a good move. It's a good move. I expected him to play more fast in football this season, but it hasn't happened. And I hope his injuries won't be like the Will Keane injuries. Will Keane was a very, very good forward. Injuries hampered his development, and eventually it didn't work out for him. So I hope Toby Collier continues improving, has injury-free months, seasons, because he's good. He's good. He's good. Paul Gadi, you are saying Carrick doesn't have to be Ole. He could just be the one to win us the EPL again. Will the toxic corporate environment at Manchester United let him? And that's the dagger that actually kills most managers. Most managers start improving. When they want to take United to the next level, no support. You look at Ole, he just needed good signings. He wanted Declan Rice, he didn't get him. He wanted Haaland. He wanted Haaland, didn't get him. He wanted Bellingham. So that's the dagger. The moment a manager actually starts building on something, the United board don't support them. So let's see how it goes. A lot of journalists are saying that Carrick the way he's performing, he'll have a chance to interview and get the job. He'll have a chance to interview. Yeah, so our time is gone. We've done an hour and 30. Let me see whether I have any last comments before we actually end the live. Let me see on TikTok. Mugithi Governor is saying, I agree, another place Amorim failed is not giving players time yet who on the field are not performing. That's true. On field matters, Amorim did not do well. He didn't do well. He didn't do well. And I said I was backing him, but it was difficult. It got to a point where, what do I even say? But at the same time, the players had a huge part to play. Because if you need a coach to beat Grimsby, I mean, the chances that these players were missing, chances, like the Arsenal game at Old Trafford, how many chances did they miss? There are a lot of chances that these players missed. Probably it was a confidence thing. Now they have the confidence. It's like whenever Mbumo Cunha get the ball, it's a goal or it's a near miss. So it was, as I said last time, it's like an onion. You peel one problem, you get another one. You keep peeling. It's like layers and layers and layers of problems. Starts with players, goes with Amorim, goes to the board. It's difficult to pin the exact problem. But all in all, the Glazers need to leave the club. The Glazers need to leave the club. The protests need to keep continuing. Right now, it's all settled down because United are winning, but it doesn't mean that the protest should end. No, the protest should continue, especially now that United are winning, pressure should be on. The Glazers are going to buy an Indian IPL club, a cricket club, with at 1.8 billion. They are buying a club, but the debt at United is still high. So instead of clearing the debt, they want to buy a cricket club. So look at that situation. Instead of paying off the debt, they are going for another asset. And actually, the Indian funds are saying no. They don't want that takeover. They don't want that takeover. So, yeah, Isaac, you're asking. I will still ask you again. Can we finish top 4? Yes. Right now, things have changed. My prediction was 6th, but now things have changed. Things have changed because Liverpool are not performing well. Chelsea are starting to get into form. Aston Villa have started dropping points. And right now, it looks like United have a very huge chance of getting top 4. So, in fact, United have a chance to go to second place. If City continue having those poor performances, because yesterday, I mean, it was a crazy game, but it looked like they were losing it because Liverpool, that second half, raided City. In fact, Donnarumma kept City in that game. So, yeah, Isaac, now I'm starting to see United can finish top 4. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being there. So all in all, what you are saying is huge credit to Carrick. Huge credit to Carrick. We can't take it away from him. However, Amorim has had some part, not a huge part, but some part to play in what is going on. But huge credit to Carrick. Coming in, lifting up the spirits, giving the players confidence, playing them in the right positions, asking them to have that freedom to express themselves on the ball, off the ball. It's working. 4 wins on the bounce. It's working. So, yeah, Carrick gets the credit. Amorim, part of it. So, until tomorrow, guys, cheers and bye-bye.